So, I've been meaning to get this down for a while, but I haven't had the time or the clear mind. That's the thing. It's still with me, still gnawing at the edges of my perception, like some parasite that refuses to let go. Salvia, Jesus Christ. I'd done weed before, sure, just a few times in high school, but recently I'd started smoking regularly, 3 times a week, give or take. It was fun at first, that stretched out feeling, the giggles. Then it got heavier. I had been here before. That was the worst part. Then came acid. 2 hits first time. Great trip. Words lost meaning. Music turned into something more than sound. A conversation in melody. It fucked with my head in a good way. Made me want to explore more. So when my buddy told me he had salvia, I didn't think twice. I've done acid, I thought. I can handle anything. That was my first mistake. The second was assuming that, because it was legal, it was safe. He filled the pipe, told me to inhale deep and hold. I did. 20 seconds, maybe more. Zeppelin's No Quarter played in the background. I was ready for a good time. And then, it hit. No, that's too soft. It punched me. Hard. A sudden, violent force that knocked the air from my lungs and left me raw. My first thought? Poison. My body screamed you shouldn't have smoked that. The colors came next. Fractals swirling, shifting, kaleidoscope patterns so bright they burned. Everything pulsed. The only thing I could make out was my phone on the table, its LED screen piercing through the chaos. I had to get rid of it. Get that out of here, I croaked, barely able to speak. My friend took it away. When he came back, I was gone. All sense of self, gone. Language, gone. Reality, shattered. I had been here before. That was the worst part. A crushing, undeniable feeling of déjà vu, like I'd been cycling through this moment forever, stuck on some endless loop of suffering. I wasn't tripping. I wasn't high. I was there. I had always been there, and I always would be. It was hell, not flames and demons. No, this was something far worse, indescribable. Words don't exist for it. A pure, relentless despair. A void where the very idea of hope had never existed. I wasn't a person. I wasn't anything. Just an observer, watching reality crumble into layers upon layers of nonsense. My friend spoke to me, or at least, I think he did. His words echoed. You trip. They disassembled, melted, turned into pure sound, then nothing. The whole room stretched, pulled apart like taffy, revealing infinite versions of itself stacked on top of one another, like looking between 2 mirrors, like slipping between dimensions. Somewhere in the chaos, I heard singing, a chorus of cartoonish, grinning faces, warped and shifting, laughing as they welcomed me to their world. A sick, mocking invitation. And the worst part? I thought I had done it. I thought I had broken reality. That I had somehow fucked up in a way that was final. This wasn't a trip. This wasn't temporary. I had shattered the universe. And now I was stuck here, forever. I started falling. Sideways. Gravity pulled me. Not down, but to the right. Faster, faster. My body, if I even had a body, began to stretch. Thin, 2-dimensional. I was the image, trapped in the swirling nightmare of color and shape. I fought to hold on, to grasp something solid, but there was nothing. Just the endless spiral, folding and unfolding, devouring itself. I must have moved. Maybe I was trying to escape. Maybe I was just thrashing in blind terror. But suddenly, hands were on me, my friend, his girlfriend, holding me down. And then, I saw her face. That was it. The tether. The one thing that snapped me back. A human face. A reminder that I was human. That I had a life. That I wasn't lost forever. I came back drenched in sweat. My heart a hammer in my chest. I could barely breathe. My friend sat me down. Asked me what I saw. I couldn't answer. Not yet. Not ever, really. How do you explain something like that? How do you put insanity into words? I tried to calm down. Watched a movie. Smoked some weed. Bad idea. The flashbacks started immediately. Not just memories, relapses. Like the trip had never really ended, and I was slipping right back into it. That same sensation, the pull, the panic, the unreality, the terror. I started seeing it when I was sober too. White specks, floaters, flickers at the edge of my vision. People's faces looked wrong, uncanny, like I was seeing through them, like I was seeing too much. And then came the fear. Not normal fear. Not fear of anything I could name. Just fear. And all-consuming, bone-deep terror that I had seen too much, that I had glimpsed something I wasn't supposed to see, that now it would haunt me forever. I've lost myself. My past feels foreign. My own identity is a stranger. I feel like an imposter in my own skin. I've never been scared of much before, never been emotional, but now I'm afraid. Of what? I don't know, but it's there, always. And the worst part? When the fear fades, when the panic subsides, when I finally feel normal, I start thinking, hey, maybe I should do more drugs. I'm writing this because there's not much out there about this combo. At least, not much that doesn't end in panic or confusion or just plain disaster. Mine wasn't a bad trip, not exactly, not good either, just beyond anything I've ever experienced. And I've been around the block more times than I can count. I've taken everything from the classics to the obscure, the kinds of drugs most people haven't even heard of. Mescaline is my favorite, though I don't get it often. Barring that, LSD, and I've done it more times than I can count. But nothing prepared me for this. That night, I was with my friend A. We had some acid, solid stuff, 3 hits for me, 2 for him. We dosed around sunset and settled in with some animal collective and a fair amount of weed, just passing time, waiting for the come up. For a while, nothing happened. We started to think we'd been burned. Then, right on cue, Alice arrived, slipping in through the cracks of reality. That slow-building euphoria crept in, sharpening my senses. We peaked around the 3-hour mark, and it was a clean, strong trip, the kind that wraps around you like a warm electric current. We talked, we drew, we let the acid guide us. No rough edges, no paranoia, just pure undiluted presence. And then, 6 hours in, something made me reach into my backpack. I had a little bag of salvia from the day before, some non-extract leaf, plus a couple of hits of 10X. Looking back, I don't know what compelled me to take it out, but I did. Maybe it was that disappointment, the way a trip starts to slip through your fingers just when you want it to last forever. I asked A if he was down. Of course he was. We loaded a bowl, some leaf, 1 hit of 10X. A went first, nothing, just giggles, color shifting, but nothing like what he'd felt before. We went again, still nothing. But then, something changed. It was subtle at first, like the room itself took a deep breath. Then it wasn't subtle at all. The air thickened, reality itself bent inward. And suddenly, I wasn't alone. I don't mean A. I mean something else was there. Something big, something watching. I said it out loud. Salvia is here. I laughed, but I wasn't joking. I could feel it, not like a drug kicking in, not like a high creeping up, more like a presence. Something with weight. The room was different. The space was occupied. I should have stopped then. I didn't. Instead, I packed a full bowl of 10X, took it all in one deep pull, and exhaled into oblivion. It happened instantly. 1 second I was there. The next I was smeared across existence, pulled in every direction at once, stretched so thin I wasn't sure if I was still me. Colors exploded, not in that trippy, psychedelic way, but in a way that made everything around me feel liquid, hyperliquid. I could see everything bleeding into everything else, space itself trembling like it was struggling to hold together. And then gravity hit. Not normal gravity, not the kind that just keeps you tethered to the ground. This was crushing, overwhelming, a black hole swallowing me whole. The entire room had weight, an unbearable, mind-bending weight, like we'd fallen through the floor of the universe into some impossible dimension. Time stopped, or maybe I outran it. Either way, I understood Einstein in that moment, understood space-time in a way no human was ever meant to. Every event in the universe sent out pulses, waves that rippled across all things, and I could feel them all at once, vibrating through me. I looked at A, desperate. He just smiled, said, "What?" Like nothing was happening, like I hadn't just shattered the laws of physics and crashed into a new, impossible reality. Then the floor of existence gave way. I wasn't in A's living room anymore. I wasn't anywhere. I was inside a vast, infinite space, a chamber that stretched forever, shaped like a triangle but existing in dimensions that shouldn't be possible. Patterns spiraled along the walls, repeating, shifting, and I knew with absolute certainty that this wasn't just a hallucination. This place had always been here, waiting, just beyond perception. I panicked. I mean, really panicked, because I wasn't alone. I wasn't even just me anymore. I was all of me, every version of me across every possible universe, all slammed together into one consciousness, trapped in this impossible chamber. I could feel them all, overlapping, existing at once, and then the walls collapsed inward, or maybe outward. Direction didn't mean anything anymore. I was running, or floating, or both, spiraling deeper into the patterns. And then I understood. I wasn't running from something. I was trying to reach something. Something I had to do. Something I had to remember. But the moment I got close, I snapped back. But not to reality. Not yet. I was still in the hyperliquid. But now it was undulating. Waves moving through it like something was pushing through from beyond. Something was coming. And I knew, with a certainty I can't explain, that it wasn't human. It wasn't even alive in the way we understand. It was something deeper, something older. The waves hit me, and I became dense, incomprehensibly dense, crushed under gravity, so immense I thought I was imploding. I was a singularity, a neutron star in human skin. And then I unraveled. I was a string, an infinite, vibrating string. And next to me, more strings. A guitar. I was a guitar. And something, somewhere, strummed. The chord rang out through the void, and I understood that I was all of it. The instrument, the music, the player, the sound. But my string was off. I wasn't vibrating in harmony with the others. And something, some part of me deeper than my own mind, knew. I had to let go, let myself play, let the sound ring true. But I couldn't. Some part of me was terrified, convinced that if I did, I'd lose myself forever. Maybe I would've. Maybe I wouldn't. I'll never know. And then, just like that, I was back. A's living room, sweating, shaking, heart racing. Staring at me, grinning. "What?" he asked again, laughing. It had been 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I couldn't speak. For half an hour, all I could manage was, "Holy shit, what the fuck?" Over and over. I don't know what happened that night. I don't know what I saw, or where I went. But I do know this. I have a new respect for salvia, for psychedelics, for reality itself, and for whatever's waiting on the other side.